Shalom, this is Yehudit Goldfarb from Sfat, in my home in Sfat. This is after Shabbat is completed for us, after the holiday of Pesach was completed Friday night. And I wanted to do a review of the week of Chesed before I do my tape for the next week of the sefirot count, with the Omer Count, using the sefirot and using movements for each sefirah. And so each combination of sefirah I did in a separate tape last week, and this is a review. I also want to explain that the white, which I wear every Shabbat, is, according to the Zohar, actually the color for Chesed. I've been doing the color scheme in my clothing according to the rainbow, which is the way I learned it from Rebbe Zalman Schachter Shalomi, and is another system. But one of the systems uses, basically based on the Zohar and the Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, who was born in Sfat and lived in Sfat in the 1522 he was born, so in the 16th century he was here. He has a whole system about how you use the colors for meditation with a sefirot. And white is what he uses for mercy, and he says in part that white is chosen because of white hair of the aged people, the elderly people, and that they tend to have more mercy. They don't participate in wars, according to him, and that they're more merciful, and that's part of the association with the white color. So that feels good, since I have white hair under my techel. So to go back to the essence of the movements, the Otiyot Hayyot movements for the counting of the Omer, I start with my feet together each day, and then I move to the side so my feet are parallel to each other. My knees are slightly bent. The ground is holding me up from below. I feel a string holding me from above. And for the week of Chesed, let me show you the Segol is combined for Chesed, is the Nikudah for Chesed, and it's the 3 dots with my mouth being the 3rd dot, the lower dot, and it goes ah. So that's the Segol for the whole week. Now the first day of the week was the combination of Chesed, Sheba, Chesed, and this is how I did it. Ah. And I did 3 times. Ah. That's one combination. Ah. Ah. Second combination. Ah. Ah. Third combination. So each day that I do it, I do 3 combinations, one for the level of nefesh, for the physical level of my soul, one for fixing the level of ruach, the emotional level of my soul, and one for my neshama, the intellectual and spiritual level of my soul. So I'm going to go on now and show you the second day of the sefirot. That was the first day of the sefirot. The second day is Gevura Sheba Chesed. And I do first the Shvanach for Gevura. And then I do a Segol as my base. And I do that 3 times. The third day, and I'm not going to do the 3 repetitions from now on, I'll just show you each one. So the third day of the sefirot, you use is Tiferet. The third day of the Omer Count, you use the sefirot of Tiferet Sheba Chesed. Tiferet is the cholam, the O sound, and it's taking a dot and putting it above your head, and the head is bent because the head and the spine are a vav, and it's oh. And then you do the Segol. And actually, I'm going to show you the 3. It feels like that's better. Oh. Oh. And then you go to the fourth day, which is Netzach. Netzach Sheba Hesed. Netzach is the harik. It's a single dot. And so I go E, 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 and the fifth day of the Omer Count is Hod Sheba Hesed. Hod is called the kibbutz, and it's like 3 dots at a slant in a row. And you start with centering, and then to the side, and the top dot is my mouth, and then the second dot is across my body, and the third dot is my hand over farther. And I generally do this in several directions, though the actual direction from you watching me will be over here. So to my left side, ooh, and then Hesed, then I usually go to the other side, ooh, and then I go in front, ooh, Hod has to do with the ability to see from many perspectives, with empathy. And so that's part of the reason I go to many directions that way. Then I do Yesod Sheba Chesed for the 6th day. For this, it's the Sharuch. So again, I bend my head forward, and my spine is the length of the Vav. The Sharuch is a single dot inside of the Vav, and it looks like this in movement. Ooh, it's relationship, connection. Ooh. Ooh. Let Hashem breathe me between each series of movements. The 7th day, which was today, was Shabbat, and outside of Israel it was the 8th day of Pesach. So the 7th day of the Omer Count is Malchut Sheba Hesed. Malchut is sovereignty, centeredness, groundedness. It doesn't have a vowel sign. It's the absence of the vowel sign. And the way I do it in movement is allowing Hashem to breathe me, very consciously letting myself be breathed. And that is the week of Chesed, which here in Israel we've just completed, and I will make a separate video for the beginning of the week of Gevurah. Thank you, Shalom, and Shavua Tov.